From not just one, but two Toy Story references hiding in the Pixar lamp set, to a Bionicle mask buried under the Monkey Kid Megapolis City set. These are 22 things you maybe missed in LEGO. The first thing I want to talk about is probably one of the craziest Easter eggs LEGO's ever made. Inside the light bulb section of the Pixar lamp set, designers hid the Pizza Planet truck, which is actually an Easter egg inside of an Easter egg. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Pizza Planet truck is in almost every Pixar movie since Toy Story. For some reason, it's become Pixar's Easter egg of choice, so you can find it in literally every single one. It shows up in Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, and even Brave, so LEGO took that idea and hid it inside the lamp. But this lamp set has way more than just this one reference, because not only does this set have the Pizza Planet truck, but it also has a bunch of Pixar characters hidden inside of it too. These four builds make up the base of the ball the lamp sits on, but if you notice, all of these are actually references to different Pixar characters. The first ones are Woody and Buzz from Toy Story, the second ones are Sully and Mike from Monsters Inc., the third ones are Alfredo and Remy from Ratatouille, and the last ones are Carl and Russell from Up. But once you build both halves that make up the ball, there are more references to different characters. One half has references to different characters from Inside Out, and the other has references to The Incredibles. But even after all of these, we're still not done. Inside the base of the lamp, there are so many discrete references that I don't even know all of them. The black, orange, and white bricks reference Nemo, and the round plates next to it reference Joy from Inside Out, but I have no idea what the rest of them are. I think the red 2x4 or the tile next to it reference Lightning McQueen, but other than that, I have no idea who these other pieces reference. So if you do, let me know down in the comments. But while we're on Pixar references, we might as well do two more from the Wall-E and Eve set. But before that, did you know that the world record fastest time subscribed to a YouTube channel is 2.2 seconds? I'll put a little timer in the corner, so subscribe and let me know if you beat it. But getting back to the Wall-E and Eve set, there's nothing special on the outside, but if you've seen Wall-E, you know what we're looking for is on the inside. In the movie, Wall-E spends all of his time compacting trash into perfect cubes and making giant skyscrapers out of them. And in this LEGO set, you can actually find one of these cubes inside of Wall-E. And again, if you've seen the movie, you already know it's inside Eve. When you open her up, you'll find a nice little plant, which is literally the only reason the plot of the movie happened in the first place. So there's no way LEGO could have left it out. Enough Pixar references though. Let's move on to the Monkey Kid Megapolis City set, so I can show you something that definitely doesn't belong there. Now, this set has references to a bunch of different themes, but most of them are in places where you can actually see them, except for one. You have to take some pieces off to find it, but once you do, you'll find a Bionicle mask hidden underground. But why is it there? Well, this mask in particular was worn by Onua, the Toa of Earth, so it makes sense why his mask would be buried underground. If you know anything about the Monkey Kid theme though, especially when it comes to this set, you know that there are way more references than some random Bionicle mask. There's a Lego vending machine, the brick-built duck referencing the wooden one Lego used to make, and way more. But there's a really subtle one hiding in plain sight around the elevator. And no, I'm not talking about the giant picture of the classic astronaut, I'm talking about the blue piece right above it. The minifigs on this piece don't really look like minifigs, and that's because it's referencing a set from before minifigs even existed, set 200 from the building set with people theme. Trust me, I know how weird that sounds, but that's actually the name of the theme. Since there are so many cool things in this set though, I might as well show you a few more. One of the stores in this city is actually a record store, and while the first thing you thought of was probably the Barbershop Quartet from Ninjago, unfortunately they're nowhere to be found. What you can find though is a record inspired by the Jazz Quartet set from 2022. This tile has the exact same design as the box for the set, so you know for sure it's them. The last thing I'll show you in this set is just the sign by the Ferris wheel warning all minifigs about the ride. I guess even if you have stud holes in your butt, you still gotta be careful on rides. Moving on from that though, I want to talk about the Shadow the Hedgehog set from the Sonic theme, because this set's actually got way more secret stuff than you think. First off, there are 3 shiny golden rings hidden inside the base that you'll never see once you build the set. This is obviously a reference to rings in the Sonic games, which is basically the entire point of the series. When you get hit in game, you lose all of your rings, so it makes sense why they're stored inside of the set. I mean, it's only right. But that's not the only thing hiding inside. If you look inside Shadow's head, you'll find a Chaos Emerald, which is another massive reference to the Sonic games. Chaos Emeralds are the most powerful objects in the Sonic universe, and collecting all 7 of them usually unlocks some kind of super form or secret ending. In Shadow's case, collecting them lets him turn into Super Shadow, giving him incredible power. Shadow's entire character revolves around Chaos Emeralds. His origin story involves them, his powers come from them, and his whole game is about collecting them. So Lego putting one inside his head is perfect. But along with this emerald, there's also a red crab inside his head, and this one represents the enemy Crabmeat from the Sonic games. Crabmeat is one of the most iconic villains in the series, and he's been around since the very first Sonic game back in 1991. It's not the most threatening enemy by any means. It just walks back and forth and shoots little projectiles at you. But it's definitely memorable, because it's one of the first enemies you see in the Green Hill Zone. But Shadow isn't the only Sonic set with multiple references, because the Team Sonic command truck is hiding a few too. This set just came out in August of this year, and just by looking at it, you can tell this truck is absolutely decked out. It's got a dining area, a ping pong table, and a gaming room with some huge speakers. But look, the last person who was playing video games was playing Sonic Adventure 2, because the Chaos Garden is literally right there on screen. This was such a freebie for Lego that honestly, I would have been a little disappointed if they didn't do something like this for this set. But remember, I said there are multiple references in this set, so let me show you the other one. The license plate for the truck says Green Hill 1991, which is obviously referencing the year the first Sonic game came out. It's pretty basic, but it's another one that we're all happy to see. Another video game set with a cool Easter egg is the Isabel's House Visit set from the Animal Crossing theme. Now, in my opinion, this theme doesn't get as much love as it should, probably because most of the sets are so small. But that doesn't stop the designers from trying their hardest to make them fun to build. Just like how Sonic revolves around rings, Animal Crossing revolves around these things called bells. You can get them from selling stuff, hitting rocks, shaking trees, and a bunch of other ways. But this set conveniently has a tree in the front yard, and if you look up top, you'll find a tile version of a bell just sitting there. This same Easter egg is also in the Able Sisters clothing shop set, so clearly whoever designs these sets wants the builder to be rich in Animal Crossing money. Moving on from that though, did you know there's an Easter egg in a set from the Creator Expert theme? It's hard to believe since this set is meant to be super serious and for adults, but there's one hiding in the roller coaster set from 2018. If you look at the box for this set, there's a little orange hat flying off of someone's head in the top right corner. Now, you might think this is just there for aesthetics, but when you build the set, Lego has you put the hat on the ground. I know it's not even close to the same spot, but this is a fun little Easter egg that's actually pretty hard to notice, and that's what makes it so good. Getting back to video game references, there's a minifigure in the Mecha Team Leader set that has an actual emote from Fortnite. Now, I know you think this is literally impossible, since pretty much every emote is someone dancing, but the Mecha Team Leader minifigure comes with an I Love Mecha tile piece. You'd have to be pretty OG to remember this one, but this is an emote from Chapter 1, Season 9, when the Mecha Team Leader fought the Devourer. At the time, this was a pretty big event, so Epic Games put 2 emotes in the shop, one for each team. So of course, the Mecha Team Leader minifig had to represent. But Fortnite's not the only franchise with video game references in Lego form. The new Death Star set has a mini kit hidden inside of it, and if you've ever played any of the Lego Star Wars video games, you know exactly what this is. Mini kits are little Easter eggs you can find throughout the levels, and collecting all of them unlocks special bonus content like ships or characters. They're the entire reason people replay these games over and over again, going back through levels in free play mode to find all the hidden spots. So Lego including a mini kit in the Death Star set is a perfect nod to the video games. But the mini kit isn't the only video game reference in this set. The Death Star also has every single stud color from the Lego games. In the games, different colored studs are worth different amounts of money, and since there's a mini kit here, that means there have to be studs too. But the Death Star isn't even the only set with something like this though, because the Arkham Asylum set has them too. Just like in the Death Star, you can find studs of every color hiding in a dumpster out back. Unfortunately, this set doesn't come with a mini kit like the Death Star, but there is something really cool hiding underneath the studs. There's a version of Batman number 9 hidden under there, which is a reference to the actual comic book. Batman number 9 was published in 1942 and featured early stories of the Dark Knight. Obviously, DC is based on its comic book series, and there are a million different DC and Marvel sets with references to the comics in them. But this is one of the only ones I know of with an actual comic book in Lego form. If you know of any others, let me know in the comments, but since this is a first for me, I was really excited to see it. Going back to Star Wars for a second, the Dark Falcon set has a reference that most people probably missed. Obviously, the main attraction of this set are the minifigures. I mean, there's a Darth Jar Jar and a Jedi Vader, but Luke actually has something pretty cool. He's holding a carton of blue milk. This is a reference to the gross-looking blue milk that Luke drinks at his aunt and uncle's farm on Tatooine in A New Hope. It's one of the most memorable drinks in all of Star Wars, and it's become a huge meme on the internet. Disney even sells blue milk at Galaxy's Edge in their theme parks, so LEGO adding it to the Dark Falcon is very fitting. But now, let's talk about the Assembly Square set, because there's a hilarious joke hiding in here too. There's a lot going on in this set, but the thing I want you to know about is that it has a dentist's office, and in the window of that office, there's a sign that says "Prevent Yellowing" with a giant tooth. Now, I don't know if this is a joke about certain pieces yellowing over time, or a sarcastic joke about yellow Lego heads, or something else, but either way, it's pretty funny. Anyways, the last set with some cool references I want to show you is the Game Boy set. This set actually just came out, so of course, die-hard fans had to find everything they could in it. One of the coolest ones to me was the serial number. Now, usually when Lego hides something in a serial number or a license plate, it's pretty easy to figure out, but this one genuinely took me a second. If you get rid of the G and split the serial number even down the middle, you get 1989 and 0421. And this is actually the exact date the Game Boy first came out in Japan, April 21st, 1989. Since the numbers weren't separated, it took me a second to realize what was going on, but all that means is that it's a great little Easter egg. But what was your favorite Easter egg or reference in this video? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.